Hey guys, it's Ken. I'm doing a Dancing Blade guide with SSBM tutorials. Dancing Blade is the name of Marth and Roy's forward B. First, before we start this Dancing Blade tutorial, let's categorize the sword dances into 3 different speeds. The first 2 hits, you can always mash, but after that, it takes some timing. By doing the first sword dance with the slowest forward B, it will cause Marth to perform the sword dance slowly. You can also do it with medium speed, by pressing it a little bit faster. And lastly, you can perform the fastest sword dance at the fastest pace. Mix up your speed to trick your opponents in different situations. Be aware, if you go offbeat, then he will only stop at 2. Forward B can also be done out of crouch or dash. There are a total of 4 consecutive hits with Marth by pressing forward B or A afterwards. After the first hit, you can tilt the control stick in order for Marth to perform a different hit. By holding up on the control stick, Marth swings his sword upwards. By holding forward, Marth swings his sword and does a lunge attack. By holding down, Marth angles his sword downwards into a series of multiple hits. You can use the first sword dance to recover while getting knocked off the stage. Also, when recovering with forward B, you can trick your opponents by stalling, waiting for your opponent to get off the ledge, and safely recover. Don't do too many forward Bs as it keeps you vulnerable to attacks. Forward B can also be used to stall on stage when your opponent is doing a get-up attack. Then you can punish after. It is also great to use Marth's side B when you're struggling from Marthritis to get a kill. If you manage to hit your opponents with the first side B, if they are unaware and are not crouch canceling, you can follow with other moves to combo. At high percent, crouch canceling does not matter, or if you land it while they are on the air, and can combo them to up tilt, forward tilt, nair, fair. You can also use forward B to edge guard your opponents. When you do sword dance times 2, there are no timings. You can always mash forward B, or forward B A. Sword dance 2 only has 2 options, the forward B neutral and the forward B up. Sword dance neutral is always more preferred as it gives more range and still pops your opponent up. You could always do forward B up twice, however, forward B neutral is usually always the better choice for setups. When it comes down to sword dance 3, it's pretty easy to remember that you always use the up one to combo. When you use sword dance 3 up, you can always link it to sword dance 4 and do more combos afterwards. You can use sword dance 3 for kills. At certain percents, they can not crouch cancel, and you can always get a stock by using sword dance 3 forward. Sword dance 3 downwards you should always use against shields and crouch cancelers as it stuns your opponents or pushes them back. You can also use sword dance 3 down to spike your opponents, but be aware because it is easily meteor cancelled. Sword dance 4 upwards can be used to catch your opponents on platforms. Full sword dance can connect at low percent on high and medium speed. It could also be used to edge guard certain recoveries, like Fox and Falco's forward B. You shouldn't use forward B on crouch cancelers at low percent. However, if you can space properly, you will be safe. Also, use it as a weapon if timed correctly, it could throw your opponents off. You can also use sword dance to poke and shield pressure. When side Bing, it is relatively safe to use it to poke because your opponent isn't sure if you will go for sword dance 2, 3, or 4. It comes down to a guessing game then. When pressuring a shield with sword dance, be aware that if you use sword dance 1, 2, and 3, that you will lag afterwards and your opponent can punish you. Doing a full sword dance on someone's shield can leave you open. And that's it guys, that's my basic guide for sword dancing. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to SSBM tutorials. Also follow me on Twitter and Twitch and hope you all learned something.